So, growing up, my parents worked a lot, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to them. It wasn't until I went to UC Berkeley where I took a course in Asian American Studies where I had an assignment to go back home and talk to my parents and learn about their story intertwined with history. So I talked to my dad, I think for the first time ever, about, his life in Vietnam. And he told me he grew up in the Vietnam War watching, bombs drop. And he told me how he saw his brother die. Sorry, is this, I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, so, sorry.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Take your time.
Okay, yeah, so he would grow up watching, or he said that the battlefield was like his playground. Like he would see bombs drop. And that's what he grew up with. And then one day, when they're having dinner, there were tunnels being built under. So like when the bombs dropped, like you could hide under. But his family couldn't run off fast enough, so his little brother actually died. Watch his brother head gets got blown off. So the war ended in 1975, and then my dad tried to escape, but he couldn't. At that point, his family was really poor, lived in the village. In 1975, I think the more educated, more richer Vietnamese people were able to leave. So my dad stayed behind. And my dad was like, I need to get out of here because I can't live this lifestyle. So what he did, he's not proud of, but he became a police and worked for the communists, which right now my family on my mother's side looks really down upon because my grandpa fought for the American side. So they're like, oh, your father's a communist. He fought for the wrong side. But really what my dad did was he worked so he could save money to fund his passage over to America. He told me he escaped, I think 3 times, I think 1984 and then 86 and then finally making it over in 89. He came from Nha Trang. He told me over there the beaches were beautiful, white sand, so white. But then because of so many people trying to escape, that the sand was drenched in blood because the communists would post and just kill anyone running to the beach. And what really gets to me is that he tells me how, so my dad was a part of the refugee generation. How he got on the boat with absolutely nothing, and that's the last time he ever saw his family. I just think back well, if this was the last time I saw my family, how would I feel? So he got on the boat. I think he was gone for a month, 3 months. I don't even know. But he told me how he would lay on the boat at night, and it was shivering. He hadn't eaten in days. He told me he had to drink his urine. Or he would pray and would I ever see my mom again? Will I, ever see my brother and my sisters again? So it was just this reality that he had to face that he probably wouldn't. So he finally got to China actually, and then back into the Philippines because that's where the refugee camps were. And then he told me how, so everything's kind of blurry from there, but he told me how he got to America. He was sponsored, but he, this scene was just he got to the airport and then everyone there at the airport had a family, flowers and huge families waiting for them, and my dad had nothing. He just had the clothes on his back, meeting the sponsor, So that was really he felt so alone. And then that time, he's like, what am I going to do? I can't speak English. I can't drive. What do I do? He thought he was going to commit suicide. And so he thought he was going to commit suicide. But luckily, I think he believed in the American dream so much that he was I'm going to work hard and I'm going to get through this. So his first jobs were working at McDonald's. He remember flipping burgers for 8 hours a day. And then he got petty jobs. He became a driver's license instructor. Driving instructor, so that's what he did, and then that's how he met my mom, and then my family completely disapproved of my dad because of what happened, because he was a communist. But I think after he met my mom, he felt so what had happened is that my parents had me at a wedlock, so before they were married, and he think that the having me was this responsibility or something that it was he felt it was fate for him to be alive and be here and I guess just take care, now that he had a family that he started, that this was his chance to survive in America. So afterwards he did vocational school and he became a welder, and he's currently a welder today, and yeah, so I think everything's good now. But I think always always grounding me back to my place is just remembering, where my dad came from. Also my mom, which I didn't get to share today, but just always remembering where my family came from, Vietnam, having to leave, having to separate from their family, always keeps me grounded and, just keep me passionate about what I do and yeah.